Today on Geek Devotions, we're talking with our special friends, the Cel Cast. Say hi, guys.
Hey,
what's up?
All right, guys, welcome to Geek Devotions, the show from devoted geeks who are devoted, letting you know you're loved. I'm Dallas, and like I said in our intro, today we're talking with our friends, the Cel Cast, which is an amazing group of individuals. They have a podcast where they review different animated shows, and I thought, hey, since we're doing Anime April, let's talk to some guys who talk about some anime and other forms of animation also. You guys can check out their stuff on most major podcast catchers. Just look for the Cel Cast. Is that right? Is that where we can find you? Just type that. Yeah.
But make sure you type that with a single L. If you do both L's, I hold no responsibility for what you find.
Welcome to the Prison Cel Cast.
Oh, awkward. Yeah. How do they get a microphone? We're not gonna ask questions. So
where'd that shit come from?
How many cigarettes did that cost?
So as you guys can already tell, these two guys are a lot of fun, and I enjoy listening to you guys' podcasts often. But for the listening audience and those who are watching at home, who are you guys? Who are Drew and Jacob?
You want to go first? Or you want me to?
Go ahead, Drew.
All righty. I am a graphic designer from a little town just about an hour north of where I live now. Not that that tells you anything. I just realized. But anyway, I went to school at Tyler Junior College, first for general studies, and then I tried to go to UT and then realized, hey, I can't do computer programming because I suck at math. And then some time trying to figure out what to do, and then I went back to TJC and learned graphic design, and that's kind of what got me living down here in Jacksonville. So, yeah, I'm in packaging design for the most part, for those who are curious.
Very cool. Very cool. And Jacob, who are you, man?
Well, my name is Jacob Heron. I'm from a small town in East Texas, Jacksonville, home of the tomato capital of the world. And I've grown up here. This is my hometown. Say what?
Nothing.
Either way, so I grew up here. I work at a grocery store here in town, Berkshire Brothers, and I've been there for nearly 20 years. Which is a great job. It's allowed me to do a lot of things, definitely within ministry, going on mission trips. I've been to Mexico. I've been to Germany twice. I've been to Utah. I've been to California, just trying to share the gospel of Christ, and just amazing. Like Germany, it's going over there, sharing the gospel and at the same time playing baseball, of all things. So, I've worked Berkshires, like I said, I've worked Berkshires for 20 years. And also I've been drawing art since I was 3 years old. And I draw on a frequent basis. I do pencil, I do ink, I do color, I paint. And so if anybody want to go check my art out, you can go to Facebook at Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where I try to draw every day. And sometimes I slip up on that, but it's I have a hunger to draw. I love art. Some of my main points of art has been comic book art with like Joe Madureira, Jim Lee. Other than that, I've been a devoted Christian probably since, well, I came to know Christ when I was 9 years old, and I became a devoted follower probably when I was like 18. And I've been allowed and to able to serve the body of Christ for, at this point, at our current church, our church right now, for I think 13 years. And that's through like many ministries, through children, through youth, through college, and just many others. And I love it. I love it to death. And so that's kind of me in a nutshell.
Very cool,
whereas I've been going to that church for what, 3 years now,
roughly.
Right.
So yeah, the only I didn't even realize I liked art until I got into that graphic design thing, because I have horrible handwriting. So I thought, why would I want to do any drawing with my hands? That my art can't be any better than my letters, and my letters are illegible. So
yeah. Yeah, one thing I did.
Surprisingly, I can draw without a computer. It's just I don't have much practice.
So to kind of bounce off what Drew just said, be like, I did graduate college in 2009 at a very small, now defunct college called Elmhurst College here in Jacksonville. And yeah, I love to serve the Lord and try to serve where I can.
That's
People keep
awesome,
saying-
dude.
And yes, we did meet at the church we're both currently going.
We did.
to,
Divine providence.
in the singles department.
Yes.
And yes,
Oh.
ladies, we are both still single.
Ladies.
We'll have their profiles up on our Facebook page for you guys later to check out. so you guys, obviously you guys are talented. You guys are both into art. You guys have, you guys love the Lord and do a lot of cool stuff. But the podcast you guys do, the Cel Cast, give me the elevator pitch. What is the Cel Cast?
The Cel Cast is a podcast where we talk about animated movies and television shows because most people kind of just give it the short end of the stick. And we don't really like that. We want to promote animation as an art form that's just as good as live action. It's not just comedy and for kids.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least it shouldn't be.
Right. Absolutely. Very cool. So you guys have been around for a couple years, and I checked the logs. I went back, and I've been listening to you guys for a minute. So I feel like I've been stalking you when I say that. I've been listening to you, but no.
Wait, where? Wait, right.
You're the one that does the voice in the commercial. I got you.
Yeah. Yeah, he does the Scooby.
Best I can do is Dr. Claw.
Like Twix.
Love it. All right, so you guys do this podcast. But you guys started back in 2019 with a film called Frozen.
Mm-hmm.
So what led to it? Why did you guys decide in 2019 and said, hey, let's sit down at a table, let's hit record, and let's do a podcast reviewing Frozen and other animated shows and movies?
Jacob, this podcast was initially your idea, so
Yes.
I will allow you to start this story.
Okay.
He said tag.
Yeah, Tag, you're it.
No. You have to realize when he was telling me, I knew he had thought this well out when he told me what the first episode needed to be, and he told me why. And I said, of course, we have to go with that.
I quite literally threw him the pitch, and he was like, "Caught, let's do it."
Yeah, and I was initially worried. It's like Frozen. I don't even like Frozen.
So
But we'll get to why we did that one first.
yes,
in a minute.
So starting off with the genesis of what became the Cel Cast. It all started when I was listening to just podcasts in general, and I ran across this particular podcast called the Rotoscopers Animation Addicts Podcast. It's available everywhere. It's very similar to what we do on the Cel Cast, and I was truly inspired by what they did. It's 3 hosts, 2 ladies and 1 bloke, and their love and devotion for animation, and you can tell when they're talking about it, they have a love for Christ and want to serve him faithfully, and even doing a podcast. I was like, wow, okay, so how can I do that? It'd be like, they inspired me, so how can I do that? So 2 years ago, 2 years, what would that be now? That'd be 5 years ago.
What, when you first posted that on Facebook?
It roughly be about 5 years ago right now.
Oh,
So,
well,
yeah.
I mean, we didn't start till we didn't get into talking about it till 2018.
Yeah. So 2 years prior, I'd post, no, it's probably like a year or so before that. I'd posted on Facebook, and it's like, hey, I'm really interested in doing a podcast. And people were just like encouraging beyond belief, but I had no idea how to do it. And I was talking to everybody. I was talking to everybody about it. And nobody, gave me like some real solid advice. And so a year goes by. And so it's like this still burning in my soul. Me, like, it's this conviction that you need to do this podcast. You need to do this. Like, God is like saying, be like, do this. So it's like, okay, so I posted again. And by this point, I had met Drew.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, we're both at a very devoted, very Bible-centric church here in Jacksonville. Shout out Central Baptist Church, Jacksonville. Awesome church.
Yes.
If you're in the area, come hang with us. We're awesome.
For no other reason, you'll find out how important context is.
Exactly.
Hey, context is king. If you don't have the context, you'll be conned by the text.
Exactly.
That's my motto.
That's true. But
It's so
let me
true.
put it this way: in other churches where they do the thing where it's like, and all God's people said amen or whatever, ours is the preacher will just be in the middle of the services. And what is the phrase? What is the
biggest thing that
either way, we end up the entire congregation says context at the same time.
Love it.
So either way, it'd be like, I just feel this conviction to repost it. And it's like, hey, I've got this. I want to do a podcast. And so me and Drew oddly enough, it started.
Okay, so you post the Facebook thing. I was stopping by a restaurant to pick up some chicken wings because I was hungry after a long day of work. And I'm waiting for my order to come out from behind the counter, and I'm just scrolling through Facebook. And I see this post, and my first thought is, you know what, that'd be interesting. I would listen to something like that. And then I remembered I actually did have some knowledge and experience in podcasting because I was on a podcast that died like 3 or 4 years prior to this. And I'm the one who pulled the plug because I was the only one. Well, I was the one who was most frustrated with what we were doing at the time. So I had pulled out. I don't even know what happened to that podcast at this point. But I see this as like, and I've been trying to get back online doing something anyway. So I see this and I post back, I believe something to the effect of, not only would I love to listen to it, if you need a co-host, I'll offer myself as tribute.
Not the exact words, but
Did you put the emoji? Did you put the 3 fingers in the air emoji?
If I'd have thought about it at the time. And I don't even think I actually put that. It's just if I was writing it now, that's what I would write.
So to put that.
So yes, I invited myself
He
along.
quite literally did. So to put that in more context, we're actually part of a men's Bible study.
Yeah. There was one girl going at the time.
It was Winnie and the Lost Boys. It was exactly. After Sunday Bible study, and it was started by
friend of ours,
Chase,
a
good friend of ours,
who's on our Tron episode.
Yeah, so go check that episode out. So we Drew got invited because we're all kind of nerdy a little bit.
Yeah,
and we started talking about animation, and then
I had noticed that within like the next month or so, I think this is what the point you're getting at, that they were going to do a showing of the Transformers the movie.
Yes.
In a theater. And it's like, I want to go see the Transformers the movie in a theater because of course I do. And I just pointed it out to the group, hey, I'm planning on going to see this movie. Anyone want to go with me? He is the only person who actually took me up on this offer. So one Thursday night, I think it was, we drove into Tyler. It's about a half-hour drive from here to the AMC theater there, and we watched the Transformers the movie, had a blast.
Oh, it was beyond a blast.
I think you'll understand why I mean is prior to this, I was worried about our chemistry.
Yeah.
Because if there was anything that was going to kill a podcast faster than anything else, it's bad chemistry.
Agreed.
Well, the drive back kind of proved we had the chemistry.
Yes. I wish we had a recorder then. It was so good.
Yes, that was a fun half-hour drive back.
It was.
That's awesome.
that proved we needed to do the podcast. And somewhere in there also, you got in touch with a friend of yours, Aaron Lowe.
Yeah.
Of Bantercast, who is going to be on our episode coming out this Saturday.
Yes.
And he showed us some more of the ropes of podcasting.
Yeah.
And then I found me on a Black Friday sale some Blue Snowballs microphones at the time, which is what we started off on. I figured out how to make 2 USB mics work in a laptop. And
I don't know. We'll talk about that later because Celeste and I worked for months to figure that. That's the reason why I went jump to real microphones. I have tons of elitists. Why we jumped to XLR microphones because we couldn't do 2 mics at one time.
I found a way to do it. I don't suggest it.
This
There is
this
a
our
reason
technique
why I was so happy to get this mixer board I have now.
and these amazing mics too.
Yes,
Which is
we had
another
so
story.
much troubles that first year.
Like good
A
night.
third of the episodes we recorded never saw the light of day.
Yeah, they got lost. They got roboted.
or we roboted a lot. But
Yes.
anyway,
Right.
Oh my God.
Bring up why you told me we needed to do Frozen first,
Okay,
because you had this whole thought out.
well, it was more of the going back to doing a mission trip in Germany. It was like the first thing you had to do was do an icebreaker, like just get kids into it. And so thinking about it, how in the world are we going to Frozen is an extremely popular movie and it still is.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just more the natural flow of starting this podcast on Frozen and literally breaking the ice.
And the minute he said it's to break the ice, I said, dude, we can't pass that pun up.
No,
We can't pass that up in the slightest. And I even made sure to say it in the episode. And that was actually the entire genesis why every episode of the Cel Cast has a weird subtitle.
yes, absolutely.
So is that the reason why the subtitle for that one is Icebreaker?
Yes, the
Yes,
icebreaker.
that is
Nice.
literally
reason.
breaking the ice. But
Nice.
plus, in the course of the movie, it's Elsa learning to break the ice of her own heart, so she's to love Anna.
Right.
And of
Awesome.
course,
We try to do double entendres. I don't know if it works.
no, and then also we got Anna.
Yes, I couldn't say Anna's name right. I probably just said Anna too.
Yeah, you did.
I figured.
Anna. And that has been a trend throughout the.
Hey,
The,
you
the
are
journey.
not. You were guilty. Of the same thing. I don't remember what it was the other week.
I
kept
agree with
saying
you.
wrong.
I agree with you on that.
I'm
We
not even-
both do it all the
I'm
time.
not even claiming the Star Trek thing you get doing through on our lower decks reviews.
Oh
I'm
gosh.
just glad I taught you how to say the name of that show correctly.
Yeah, Star
Oh, my gosh.
Trek.
So in case you guys haven't been able to pick up, these two guys have a lot of fun with their podcast and they talk about a lot of cool stuff. And I listen to you guys' podcasts and I just smile like the entire time. That's just all I do is smile because you guys have a great chemistry. You guys laugh and you make me laugh. Even if you can't say Star Trek correctly, it's okay. So,
Hey, sorry.
so
Grow
over
up
the
on it
years,
like I did.
you guys have covered all kinds of stuff. You guys covered some of my favorite stuff: Batman, Mask of the Phantasm. You covered Ghost in the Shell. You
Yes.
covered several anime. You got Lupin the Third, Castle in the Sky, Grave the Fireflies, which that one.
I like how
but-
you're just talking about Miyazaki month
Yeah, he's
well,
yes.
or Miyazaki and Ghibli month.
right. So, but at the same time, you guys have done so much more. You guys did a whole series on Thundercats. You guys have been going through Tangled, the animated series that I didn't even know was a thing.
Yes.
I
did
didn't
not-
know it was a thing until he showed me a clip.
Oh my gosh.
Somewhere in season 2. We haven't gotten to it
Oh,
yet.
I can't
And I
wait.
said, "This isn't a
I can't
children's
wait.
television show. This is Entangled."
Okay.
Right.
Wow!
so
I
to-
need to see what the crap's going on.
Okay,
here.
so describe what he's talking about. So with Tangled, it's
Don't
flat-
spoil a
I'm
thing.
not. It's just be like think of what
What the reverse of her healing spell?
her
would be.
healing enchantment was.
Right.
Think that, and it's just like it's so
And
good.
it's like
oh
so
my gosh,
incredibly
just the hair
creepy to
goes on your
watch. It's
everything.
like-
It's frightening as can be. It's so good. And
Oh, gosh.
the whole reason we
Which is the entire reason we're going to do the animated series.
yeah
parts.
we did the animated series was because we started off on the good Tangled because I wanted to do Tangled. I had heard so much about this. I had read about it. I watched several episodes. Because by that point the series had already ended, and oh my gosh, the ending of the series is amazing. I can't wait to get the end of it. But
Especially now that you'll have context.
yes, exactly, more
You
context.
didn't watch any of the other parts of the show. You just saw like 5 episodes and says we got to do this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so just to be like, I wanted to do that, and it's a show that really never got any love by Disney or Disney Channel, and just like people on the internet were like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing," and I put it out there. It's like, "Hey, we're gonna do Tangled the series," and people were like, "Oh my gosh, yes," but then that got pushed back because COVID.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, what happened was our thought was I was afraid I was going to have to be editing 5 episodes a week or something at the time.
Right.
That was our thought. And I wasn't sure I could handle that. So you actually stepped up to the plate and said, if you'll record it, I'll edit it. And that was the whole plan, was you would edit all 3 seasons. It's now just looking like you only are going to be editing season 1, because I can't edit that fast.
Yeah, he's got a lot better. A lot better.
But
and then, and then we get Star Trek Lower Decks.
Well, what happened was I saw that Star Trek Lower Decks was coming on. I thought, we should jump on that while it's fresh. Maybe we can get some people in there.
Mm-hmm.
And you were, I think you agreed to it, but I think you were a little iffy because you did not know a thing about Star Trek.
Well, my defense, growing up,
except for the movies.
Except for the movies. Be like, I'd seen a little bit of Next Generation and Voyager and Deep Space Nine and like the original movies, the J.J. Abrams films. Now, granted, I'm a movie nut. I love movies to death. And so that was my bubble of Star Trek. And so reviewing Star Trek Lower Decks was like, oh my gosh, this is really good. And then I'm seeing Drew over here
and I'm just
doubling over in laughter.
I had to keep
I'm like, what are you laughing
That's
about?
the thing. He didn't have CBS All Access at the time.
Right.
He doesn't have internet. And so he came over and we would watch it and then go step into the behind the mics and record our episode on it. Well, I had half the time hadn't had a chance to watch it either until we were sitting down to watch it. So every 5 seconds, I had to pause to catch my breath because I'm sitting there going, "Oh, look, it's that thing! Oh, look, it's that thing! Oh, look, it's that thing! I can't believe they did that! Oh, look, Clippy is evil!
Yes, Clippy is so evil."
Oh, so I love that character so much.
Yes.
So this leads me to ask the question though: how do you guys decide what films you guys do? Like what series and movie? Like obviously you guys have like some sort of love for some of the stuff you do, but how do you go, all right, this is what we're going to do?
So early on, the first 2 years, what we did was we each had 3 movies we could put on the list at one time. And then we'd take a dice and we'd roll to see which movie we were doing. And that lasted up until I realized I was never going to get a Miyazaki movie in as far as the dice was concerned.
Yeah.
So I then said, hey, I have an idea. Why don't we do some theme months? That way we can get some spooky movies in at Halloween, some Christmas movies in at Christmas. I'll take November for the Miyazaki movies because I wanted to go through all those. And I let him have whatever he wanted to do in January. And he chose Don Bluth for that first one. And we enjoyed that. And so we actually did the same cycle for another year. Except January this year, we did Disney Channel or Disney Toons because we were leading up to Tangled, the series, to start off in February. And when we decided to come back in February, we said, "Hey, the dice is nice, but some of this stuff is just getting ridiculous." So I just went in and I set out a list of episodes. I chose on a Google spreadsheet. I chose blue for him, green for me, and I said, "Okay, here's my spots. Here's your spots. Put whatever movie you want to put in there."
Yeah, pretty much. That's turned into.
Love it. All right, so over the last couple of years, you guys have done tons of movies and TV series, but throughout this, because again, one of the things I enjoy about y'all's show is the moments you guys have together, your laughter, and you're like, you guys are real people. Like sometimes there's podcasts out there, and it's like one person's just kind of stoned and you're like, okay, you're a person, but like you guys are real. But what's been your favorite moment over the last couple of years working together with this podcast, whether it's on air or off air? What's been your favorite moment?
I'm going to mention one.
Go for it.
This actually got edited out of the episode, but I released it separately.
Oh no. Say it. Just say it, bro.
I know.
Go for it.
If you go back into our episode list, you'll find a file that says "Meanwhile at Castle Grayskull." Now, this was at a time where we weren't recording live. We had not instituted our current review procedure, our current review format, and we were kind of just going wild. And somehow we got off in a part that I ended up being it was like a half-hour audio we ended up cutting out. But in the middle of this, there was a moment where he said something, and it sounded like Old Man He-Man. Is what it sounded like to me. And then
Wow.
we go off on this whole weird, He-Man's in a home. He's forgotten everything. He's still calling Battle Cat, even though Cringer's been dead for 50 years. And then I said something about I said something like, Mommy, why is Daddy talking about Cringer? Too much Castle Grayskull magic will do that to you, honey. You're not going to talk about your Auntie She-Ra.
Oh, it still cracks me up. And
Definitely go back and listen to the original. It is so stinking hilarious. And of course, it was all random. We were in the middle of some other conversation.
Oh, yeah.
We had chased about 30 rabbits to get to that moment. And I think it was at that point I realized we need to go back to talking about whatever movie it was. Ironically, I think it was Transformers.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, that's
no, it
funny.
makes sense. It's the same decade, so
pretty much
it makes sense,
right?
I vaguely remember that conversation. Granted, it's 2 years.
But yeah, that is still one of the funniest moments I think we've done. In a moment that you can actually find in a normal episode, though, I do have to point out the most fun I had was in a recent Miyazaki movie month we did, or actually it was a Ghibli movie in November, but it was Ocean Waves, which the subtitle was I Can Hear the Sea and Other Lies.
Oh, yeah.
And I had hated the movie pretty badly, but I wasn't sure at the time why I hated the movie until I realized what the main character reminded me of. And I ended up finding a soliloquy from the television show Frasier, the one where Diane comes back and meets Frasier, and she made this play where it's actually a recreation of Cheers. And at one point, the actor playing Frasier's doppelganger, says something like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be feeling in this moment. And he says, I can alleviate that. And I don't remember the whole spiel. Go back and listen to it because I had the whole thing.
It's such a good
It was
point.
so stinking hilarious because I hated the main characters, the female main character so much because she had not grown. And I was pointing out why I knew she hadn't grown because she is this character. But anyway.
So she's a Penelope.
We're not going to get into Vanellope right now. You want to know my thoughts there? Go listen to the Ralph Breaks the Internet episode where I realized Vanellope hadn't grown in 2 movies.
Yeah. Ralph Breaks the Internet. Let's say that.
She went from being my favorite Disney princess to the most hated character in Disney.
Wow. that was a good turn.
That's all right. Francisco hates all the Disney characters, so it's going to be good.
Well, he has no taste.
So for those of you wondering...
I can say that because he's lurking.
He is. For those of you listening, if you're new to our show, we have a good friend, a good mutual friend. His name is Francisco of Retro Rewind Podcast. We love him to death. We poke fun at him. He pokes fun at us. We all good terms. My man, let me put you on the big screen. Actually, Drew's wearing Team Womp, which is one of Francisco's shirts that he loves to hate.
Hey, he designed the shirt.
He did. So, but we love him to death.
I will just say, if you're on the other team, he does have a Team Smote You shirt, so go buy that.
and also, Drew is wearing one of our very exclusive hats.
If you want one of those hats, talk to him.
Yeah, talk to this guy
because we don't have a storefront.
It is a very limited. Get a hold of me on Facebook, and we'll work out a deal.
We'll definitely talk. I like how in the chat, our friend John, who's also on one of our away team members for Com Talk, he says shots fired. And then we got the real RKO stoner going Team Smote You, which is not one of Francisco's things. Oh, Francisco's actually in the chat. When you leave, when you have the best taste, it seems like no taste. Yep, that's the reason why you don't like what we like.
Yes,
we have the best taste.
Although admittedly, I do have a thorn in my side who also doesn't like Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh, sad day.
I have a weird sense of humor or weird
you
sense of
you
humor.
like story.
I like story.
If the story's not there, the comedy won't get you.
So
you realize you can't say you have a weird sense of humor and then look at Monty Python and say that's not weird.
He also doesn't like Galaxy Quest.
No.
What?
I there again, I'm weird. I'm totally aware of that. I thought it was just odd. There again, plugging our go check out the movie of the week podcast.
Yeah, that's our other podcast that we do
with my brother Jim.
The movie of the week. Cool.
Yeah, we do live action movies there, and so that
Nice.
that one's interesting. A lot of kaiju.
Yes. We finally just got done with Godzilla versus Kong. We recorded that episode last Friday. That's going to be coming up probably next week.
Yeah.
Nice.
I
Check that out.
think King of the Monsters is coming out this week. We got behind.
I understand, man. I totally understand that. Well, let me ask them. What is one film that you guys are just? Well, we haven't heard from you, Jacob. What's your favorite moment in the last couple of years?
Well, between the, I think it's just all the good laughs we've had together as hosts and getting to know each other better and growing in our relationship with Christ together and growing and building each other up in that, because that's like besides being podcasters, it's really great to have that fellowship with someone else that has the same belief system that you do, and you can build off each other with that. Podcast wise, it's all the laughter we've had together. It's the some of the amazing hosts we've had over the years. The movies in which Drew's picked, because a lot of them like I'd never heard of, like Your Name.
Yeah.
Your Name. I love that movie to death.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those. It's like, what is this Your Name business?
And I think I had made it intentionally said, I can't tell you.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to watch it. I'm gonna give you a fair warning. Kids shouldn't watch this movie.
no, absolutely not, absolutely not. And be like, I get introduced to a lot of Ghibli, which
I also introduced you to Summer Wars.
yes, Summer Wars. Oh my gosh, just amazing.
that
I mean, like,
movie
it's
needs more love.
expounded my anime my catalog of movies that I now have the pleasure of understanding more.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the reactions we do. I think it's just the experience of the show. It's getting to experience different things, and they're again bouncing off one another when it comes to a review. Like when you're prepping for a show, like for me, be like I write down my likes and dislikes, because we do three of each, and I write down my score. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, this is a 6 because I didn't like this movie so much. And so during the course of the conversation of the likes and dislikes, it sways back and forth. It's like, wow, he's really got a good point, or he's got a good point. And it makes that viewing more even better. It's like by the end of it, I can't even tell you what movie it would be.
This is why I kind of gave up writing down my score ahead of time.
Yeah,
because I think somewhere around episode 10, I realized it's how I really feel about the movie at the time it comes to do this. It's going to depend on what we discussed.
Yeah,
more than anything else.
That's cool.
Because objective reviewing is not really our thing.
No, it's like with the day's reviewers, it's like you can't find anything good with the movie. I think we discussed this like in our Bible study the last week.
Yeah,
that either it's got to be top pinnacle. It's got to be the best of the best.
Got to either be a masterpiece or a dumpster fire.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
It's a spectrum, guys.
Yeah, exactly. And not everything's cliches.
Right.
You're like, oh, you're doing this same old trope they've done 1,000 times.
Well,
the
how
trope
did they do the
works.
trope?
It works.
There's something wrong with some tropes.
I mean, I hate Deus Ex Machina. That is a trope that grinds my gears. But when it works, it works. And I can't really complain too much. I can just say, whoop, there's another one.
Yeah. Yep. And also be like, you can watch a movie that you don't like.
Yeah.
Necessarily, and see the amazing piece of gem or the character design or the character build and their development, who they are and who they become. And you just find the real joy out of that. And there's so many reviewers out there. It's like, oh no, it's a piece of trash.
Well, that's part of the reason why we instituted that review structure where we do likes and dislikes.
Yeah.
That I did not realize to some degree until that first episode of Retro Rewind I guessed it on, that I may have subconsciously stole from them.
It's a good. Hey, look, man. There's so much I stole from Retro Rewind podcast. I probably owe him royalties. Just being honest with you. Like when you do it right, you just do it right, You
Yes.
know, he is the Deus Ex Machina. So
mimicry is the greatest show of respect, right?
that's what I'm told.
True.
Also, it's a form of plagiarism. So,
Hey, I cited my source. It may not be an MLA formatting. I don't think there is MLA formatting for this.
oh my gosh, that's awesome. So, what film are you guys dying to do? Like, what's like coming down the road? What, or not even on the road? It's just there. What film are you guys dying to review? Are you dying to make the other person watch?
I've got one coming up that I don't know how much of a hurry I'm in to watch it, but I'm kind of curious what Jacob's going to say after he watches it.
Okay.
Paprika.
Oh,
What?
that.
Yeah.
You told me about
Paprika?
this.
Paprika.
Yeah, paprika. It's not a pepper or a spice.
It is a
No, it's not.
weird movie.
It is next level weird.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Also, I'm looking forward to Akira come Olympic time.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. Yes.
That would be great.
So
That'd be great. That's a great timing too. Well planned. Well done.
agreed.
Well, that's the thing. It was originally planned for last year. But
you are
thanks,
committed
COVID.
to us.
it delayed, so we delayed. I think that's why Osmosis Jones got in the,
yeah.
in
Oh
the,
my
in the
gosh.
schedule
That
last
movie.
year.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, I hated that movie.
Yes.
Oh,
That was a dumpster fire.
that was.
Yeah, that was a dumpster fire, but it was the closest COVID movie we had.
Yeah. So speaking of Akira, that was actually the first anime I ever watched.
Really?
Whereas,
Yes.
whereas I can honestly
Awesome.
say the first anime I watched was Sailor Moon, followed an hour later by Dragon Ball Z.
Of course.
There you go.
Of
Toonami, baby. Do
Tsunami.
it.
Yes.
Yeah. I think my first anime I ever watched was either Robotech or Voltron. I think one of those.
And-
one of
and
those two.
And this is only if you're not counting episodes of Speed Racer I caught randomly as a kid.
That's one of those ones. This is in everybody's mind somehow.
Yeah. I say, I
So-
know I watched it. I can't, because how do you not know that dub?
Right.
But I don't remember any of it.
Right.
I remember the
Oh.
Dexter's Lab episode making fun of it more than anything else.
So how about you, Jacob? What is the one thing you want to do or you want to make Home do?
One of the movies I really want to do, and I recently just got it from the Disney Movie Club, was the Peanuts movie. I've never seen the film. I'd heard so many good things about it. This guy told me it's such a good movie. Everybody's told me so many good things.
It's the only other Blue Sky movie I like.
Rest in peace,
Rest
Blue
in
Sky.
peace, Blue Sky.
Yeah. They kind of just been like, dump. We don't need you anymore.
Oh my gosh. That's cool.
I really can't think of a movie offhand right now that I could be like get Drew to watch and see how he reacts to it. But
Right.
I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a movie down the line that we're both in that same vein that someone's gonna put a movie in the list that we both don't like. And
We're still waiting on that one, actually.
we're still waiting on that.
I'm afraid that my movie I throw in there that I'm doing with you guys next week. Spoiler alert, I'm going to be on their show soon, guys. I'm afraid you guys may not like the movie. I don't know why. I just have this feeling.
I watched it last night, and not to spoil that review any, I actually enjoyed it.
Sweet. That makes me feel better. It's one of those ones I have a connection with. So, hey, we got a question in the chat. Maybe you guys are able to answer it. It's from our friend John. He goes, question, talk about Parasite. And explains to me why people keep telling me that I need to watch it. Are you familiar with Parasite, the anime or the manga?
I've seen one episode,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm assuming they're actually talking about the anime and not the Korean movie that made the Academy Awards last year, because there is a difference.
There is.
It has got really creepy animation that works. I could not get into it for whatever reason, so I don't know exactly what happened.
Right. So
I just know I did like the animation of the little alien parasite thing that's in his hand.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
It's definitely a creepy one. And John, for you watching, it's about alien race that are parasites that try to take over the Earth, and it messes up and gets stuck in this one kid's hand. And now he's got to protect the kid or he dies. So it's really interesting. All right, so this time of the show, guys, where we're going to do rapid fire questions for the Cel Cast. Now, We have some questions that have been coming in through the chat. I'm going to kind of throw these out there, and these guys are going to give off top of their head answers to these questions. Cel Cast, are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Question number 1. What is a recommended first anime movie that somebody should watch?
Princess Mononoke.
Promare.
What was that?
Promare.
All right. Best animated series that somebody should watch for the first time.
Gravity Falls.
Ooh. Trigun.
Wait, did you say
nice.
Anime or animated?
I said animated, so
yeah,
I should say anime.
I'm going Gravity Falls.
All right.
So-
Technical series.
What about anime for you, Drew?
Anime. This went out of my head. You know what? I'll go with Angelic Layer.
Nice. Very first cartoon you remember watching as a kid?
Well, life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, airplanes. It's a duck blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales.
Thunder. Thundercats. Ho!
Nice. Most underrated cartoon movie that you wish everyone watched? Doesn't have to be American.
Jetsons the movie.
Oh.
I think a lot of people watch that one though.
Yeah, but it's such a
yes, it needs love.
It needs
really
some
does
love.
need love.
Oh my gosh.
That transfer is horrible. Oh shoot.
Tick tock, tick.
I know. I'm gonna go with Summer Wars.
Summer Wars.
Good
Nice.
one. Good one.
One of our guys in the chat says The Last Unicorn. Another one says
That's a good one.
Space Adventure Cobra. I'm not sure what that one is.
I'd heard about that one.
All right. Would you guys ever review Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie?
Well, Josh.
Call him out.
No. See, here's the thing. I didn't even have to see the highlight to know it was Josh.
Yeah, that's
He's
Josh.
been bugging us on this one for a while. I'm not against watching it. I have never seen it, and if he can find us a copy, maybe
legally.
All right. Well, that's your answer. So, all right. So, guys, that was Cel Cast. Hope you guys enjoyed meeting them. I want to remind you guys, I want to encourage you, please go over and check out their podcast on whatever podcast catcher you have, because they're funny. I've been smiling. I've laughed the entire time. And that's what the podcast is like on a regular basis. But I'm going to be on their show here in a couple weeks to talk about one of my animes that I enjoy, which is Tenchi, the movie. So that's going to be happening here in a couple weeks. And I think we're going to be streaming on y'all's Twitch channel too, right?
Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube.
Yep.
Awesome. And what do you guys have to advertise for the world to see?
Oh, we were just pointing out Tenchi Muyo, the movie.
Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah.
I was giving it. I watched it
You
last
got the whole
night.
collection.
Yeah, that was the only way I could get it.
My man.
It's
I'm
just
kinda
the
envious.
three movies, though.
That's
the
cool,
only way I
man.
could get it on Blu-ray, I should say. Because at this point, if I can get it on Blu-ray, I'd prefer that.
I understand.
Heck, now, if I can get it on 4K Blu-ray, I'd prefer that since I've got something that'll play it now.
So how can people find you guys?
You can find us on our website at thecelcast.podbean.com. You can also find us on your favorite podcast catcher. Just look for the Cel Cast anywhere. Search for that.
That's with one L.
Indeed.
One up.
You can also find our Facebook page, which is the Cel Cast. We are on Twitter. We have a Discord if we ever remember to use it. And we have a Facebook group that we share with Movie of the Week podcast called Double Feature Podcast Community. Go join us over there. It's not as active as it should be. And we have Instagram, if I remember correctly.
We have Instagram and Twitter.
There's a reason all this is pre-recorded.
Awesome.
Yeah, if you want to find me specifically, you can find me on Facebook. I'm on Letterboxd at ggeorge759, and if you want to see the photos I've taken, because I am an amateur photographer. Check out Drew's Photo Bin, that page over on Facebook.
Very cool. And Jacob, how can we find you individually?
You can find me on Facebook at Jacob B. Heron. That's also on Twitter and Instagram. You can also follow me on my art path at Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where I try to draw every day. And I post art all the time, once, maybe 3 times a day. It's just something I love to do. And yeah, that's about it.
Very cool, man. Very cool. All right, so all that information they just gave you guys are going to be links are going to be in the description of this video and also in the show notes on our website geekdevotions.com. I do want to encourage you guys to check out all of our stuff at Geek Devotions. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just look for Geek Devotions. And also check out our website geekdevotions.com, where we're putting out content on a regular basis with articles and stuff like that. Recently we reviewed The Way of the House Husband, which is hysterical, and I think you guys should watch that. What else have we reviewed? We did a review of Dr. Stone, the animated series versus the manga, and a couple of reviews. But also all of our devotions are on there to encourage you guys. And I'm going to throw this out there one last thing here. And people are like, "Oh, how do you get people on the show? Why do you let people on your show?" I bring people on here. So let's not bring people on here that we know will encourage you. We know that will in some way point you back to Christ. That's what we're all about here at Geek Devotions. And these guys do that in their own way. It's awesome. They're not necessarily a religious podcast, but they don't hide their faith either. And I respect that so much. And I'm so thankful for you guys, for what you guys do and your the role you play in the geek space. And I know you guys are connected to Christian Geek Central network. Real quick, what is the Christian Geek Central network?
I haven't even thought of that. There's a collection of podcasts and other Christian media. It's a network of Christian geeks that produce some stuff that you should check out, pretty much.
Awesome. So we'll have a link to their website for you guys to check that out too. So all that being said, until next time, remember, actually, let's do this. You guys are going to say the last part of our tagline, which is peace and love. All right. So until next time, stay devoted.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
There you go. Love it.
And we'll catch you in the next frame.